Hi, I'm Natalie, and today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through doing a patchwork zipper pouch. This is from my Easy Zipper Cases pattern. We're going to do the large size, and I just wanted to share an easy technique. I do this in my Skull Candy Crush pillow project in that pattern, but if you have never done that one, you might not have seen this. You can also do this method to make our Hippie Specs case, which we have kits for, and we also have kits for this project as well. All right, so let's go overhead, and I've got my fusible interfacing on my ironing surface at the moment, and I'm going to be using the Tula Pink, what is this called? This one, mini charm pack, I forget. And I'm just going to place some on here. However I wish. I usually just do it randomly. I think I am going to have all the stripes going one way, possibly. I don't know yet. Let's see what happens. This is just meant to be fun. Let's get some purples in here. All right, so they are all on the interfacing. The fusible glue side dots of the interfacing was facing up. So now when I come in with my iron, these will fuse to the interfacing. You do want to lift your iron as you're pressing these. You don't want to push your iron all around. And this is just the first step. We're going to sew these, don't worry. Doesn't have to be perfection because we're going to fold right sides together and sew down. So at least that is holding it in place. If I lift this up and walk away, these are stuck to the interfacing. So now I'm going to fold right here. It does help if you use the gridded interfacing, but I don't have any more of that. So we're just going to make the SF 101 work. We are going to the sewing machine. Let me see if I put this in the right spot. All right. This is okay. And now I'm going to do my 1/4 inch seam right here. Now, I'm at a 3. You might want to use a 2.5. It's up to you. And I'm going to show you. All right. So there's one. We're going to go all the way across this way, and then we'll go the other way. So if you wanted to press this, you can do that. Let's go back to the machine. And back again. And don't worry that some of this is hanging off. I cut my interfacing to the size of the zipper pouch so that I wasn't wasting any of the mini charm squares. So we'll trim those, the extra down here, we'll trim that away later. Okay, one more to do here. and then back. Now I like to just give it a quick press. I kind of push my seams to one way. They're going to the left for me right now to make it sit a little flatter. This is a good place to use your clapper, by the way. All right, now you've guessed it, we're gonna go top to bottom. So I'm gonna sew right along here. If you have your stiletto, you can hold those seams in place without risking sewing your finger. That's one. Let's come down and do the next row. And back over, and the next row, which we can just flip it and do this. Don't worry about these if they're acting funky, because we can release the seams after this. All right, let's come back over here and see how they're all looking so good, and we didn't have to take the time of sewing them one by one together. I love it. Now, there's nothing wrong with sewing them one by one together. It's okay to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're on a time crunch or you want to be more efficient, then this is a good method to use. And now I will trim this up. Get my acrylic ruler. First is this side. I'm gonna start on this side and trim that up. And now I'm gonna come over here. And it's totally fine if whatever this side is, we want the other side to match. And the zipper pouch will work. It doesn't matter if you end up trimming it down to, let's pretend like 11 by 9 or something like that. It doesn't matter. You just want both of your panels to match. Okay, so one side is ready to go. Now we're gonna do this side and repeat the same thing. We will interface this, and like I said, if you sewed anything where your seam is kind of pulling like this, can you get in there? Yeah. See how this one, I sewed it and it's pulling? You can just come in and release it so that it can sit however it wants to sit. You're not gonna cut through the stitching. You're just releasing the little pulling action going on. This one I did it too, so I'll just release the seam a bit. Okay, see that? And this one, I released it. All right, let's do our other side. All of this is in your kit. I'm gonna trim this off just so I'm not putting squares on that don't need to be there. So these corner ones are often, oh, I don't want to do red. That looks too Christmassy. I'll do this. The corner ones will be hidden from view for the most part. You'll mostly see what's in the main frame here. That's too yellow by that Grello, so I'm going to switch it out to blue. I just know what I like. You can do whatever you want. You can line them all up differently. Do whatever you like. That one might be too pale. Oh, and I didn't do it right. Did you see that? Uh-oh, I did this row wrong. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna switch this. Go here. I'll do this one up here. Because I had stripes and dots sitting next to each other. Sometimes you gotta just step back and take a look at it and you'll see errors more easily if you step away. Yeah, I caught that last minute. Do this one and a gray. Okay, so I have 2 left. And now we're going to press that. I should have placed this on my ironing surface first, but that's okay. They're not overlapping, they're just touching. And then we catch any spaces when we're sewing. So don't overthink it, don't panic yourself over perfection. Okay, I'm gonna go top to bottom this time, just to show you either way works. Let's see if we can just stay here and fold the next one. When you have those mini charms, it just naturally wants to fold there. All right, now we're going to go the other direction. I don't get all bent out of shape on which way I'm pushing the seams. Whatever you decide is just fine. I can see this seam I'm gonna have to release because it's a little crunched. There we go. And maybe this one too for good measure. All right, so we've got those 2 done, and I will make sure that they are exactly the same size. I'm gonna have to trim this one down a smidge. All right. The exteriors are done. Now we'll do the lining. Just gonna cut my pieces right away. And remember, this pattern is in full detail if you want to grab my Easy Zipper Cases pattern. It's been around for years. And I'm going to cut my zipper tabs from the scraps here. All right, I've got lots left over that I can play with for another easy zipper case pouch or whatever I want to do. Let's do our zipper tabs and iron our interfacing to these pieces. Trim any excess away. Now for these exterior pieces, I'm going to do some fleece, which is in your kit. And I'm just trimming away the excess interfacing so that I don't think I'm sewing the fabric and I'm not. Okay, let's get our zipper. So we're going to trim this down. We want it to be 1 inch less wide than what's on here. And then I will attach my zipper tabs. Let's go to the machine. Sew Hungry Hippie zippers, you can sew right over the teeth. They look metal, but it is not. And now I'm going to grab my other zipper tab in to touch the fold and fold it over. All right, ready to put this baby together. Now, what am I going to use to help me place the zipper accurately? Anyone? Anyone? Double-sided sticky tape. We're going to do an exterior down. I need to peel this side off. Right side's down. Uh-oh, my zipper's too long. What do I do? It's okay. Just unpick a tab and trim her down. I forgot that I had trimmed my side panels. So I've got to trim this down some more. We want a finger space here. We want a finger space here. It's always okay to fix it now. It'll be easier than fixing it later. So now I'm good to go. So I'll put back on. I'm just going to trim it a teensy bit more. You can do that to make it easier on yourself later. Let's go to the machine and I'll sew this back on. No problem, okay? Now I'm going to place this centered pressing it down with the tape, and I've got spaces on each end. That's super important. Let's go back to the machine. If you have a zipper foot, go ahead and put it on. I'm going to sew without it. But I will say you want to move that pull out of your way while you're sewing it on. If you don't have a zipper foot, because if you don't, it can cause a bump in the sewing. Okay, there's one. Now we're going to grab a lining, right sides down. Right sides down. But I forgot to trim these, so I've got to do that first. So you can always go like this for like a little cheat sheet, or if you have our templates, you can use the acrylic templates. That makes it really easy. A lot of times when I'm rough cutting, I'm just eyeballing. And I don't know if this affects anybody else, but when I've made something 100 times, I get lazy, and that's when mistakes happen. And I think I know it, and then I mess it up. Anyone else ever done that? So just check yourself every step. Not crazy, but you know, just a little bit. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to sew right down that line again. You can use pins or clips here if it helps you to hold the layers in place. Let's go to the machine. I can feel that zipper pull lump. So I'm going to come in here, I raise my foot, and I move the zipper pull down here, because I don't want this to bump out and not be stitching straight. All right, there's that. I'm gonna press it and then press it down. Make sure on this side that you're pressing that down and away from the zipper teeth. You can use the iron if you want to. I did a lot as a beginner. Press, press, press. It's one of the best things you can do when you're sewing. All right, time to add the opposite side. So we'll place our exterior right sides up. Make sure the top is the one you want at the top. Unpeel this and place. And here you just want to make sure that your sides are capiching and match these top edges. And that's why I love using that double-sided sticky tape. Makes it so simple. Let's go to the machine. Now, I'm gonna be bumped out if I don't move that, so let me move it now. And now my needle is down. I lift my foot and I move this out of the way. Okay. Now, this is where we're at. We're looking at the inside. This is the lining. This is the exteriors, right? Leave them alone. We want to look at this part. Our next lining piece is right sides together. And we're matching that top edge and making sure our sides are capiching. And here we go. We're going to sew this. Let's go to the machine. I forgot to back stitch, but I'll be okay. Move that pull out of the way. All right. And now we've got this one in here, which I'm going to hand press, and this one on the outside. And you can top stitch here if you fancy. I do fancy, I like it, because it helps train the fabric to behave when I'm using the pouch. But first, make sure you're really smoothing those out and they are nice and flat. Okay, let's go to the machine. I'm gonna turn my stitch length up to 3.5. If this feels bulky for you, you can always start with a header. Where did my header go? You know, a header is like a piece of fabric that you start sewing with and then you keep going. You can use a hump jump tool. The Jukies come with this kind of tool, and it's meant to get you started, to keep your foot level as you're starting to sew the layers. The next thing is a hammer whack-it tool. We have the nylon mallets in our shop, and you can hammer those seams down and it won't leave marks. So you can do this. You may need to implement either whacking the seams, a hump jump tool, or a header. Okay, let's go back to the machine and continue. And now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to move this out of my way. All right. Now let's go back to the table, and we are going to open this pretty much all the way. That's key. And then lift up one exterior and one exterior, and your linings are over here, right sides together. Now I'm going to grab my pins. I have not cut my boxed corners yet because I like to sew around the perimeter first. Then I'll do my boxed corners. And that is to ensure that they're going to be even on the pouch when it's standing up. If you do it another way, I'm not saying you're wrong at all. You just do what works for you. Okay, I'm going to leave an opening down here, or you can baste it, a big stitch length. And I'm going to sew from here down all the way around and back. The trick here that most people, it messes them up, is we are not sewing over the zipper tabs. That's why we have a finger space in here. There's plenty of room to sew right by them. That ensures that you will not have those crunched ends on the zipper or crunched corners at the top of your pouch. I see it a lot, and it's because people just don't know. So let's go to the machine and I will show you what I mean. I'm turning it back down to a 2.5 centimeter stitch length. I'm going to back stitch here. Come to the corner, needle down, lift the foot. Here I am coming right up next to the zipper tab. See, I've got all this space to clearance. This is the tab over here. I'm going right by it. If you have to jog out a little bit to sew by it and not over it, then please do. Another corner, pivoting. Pivoting. Here comes another zipper tab right here. And I'm going to sew over it in this space right here. I'm going to sew right by it, not on top of the tab, right by it. Now on this lining, I'm going to come in and take a little bit bigger seam allowance. See that? That's just to make my lining fit really tightly. Nobody likes a baggy lining. It's like wearing baggy underwear. Okay, I've got a big giant opening. you can baste stitch that and then unpick it if that helps you. Now I'll take my pins out and do my boxed corners. You can do your box corners whatever size you like in the pattern. I list what I think looks the best for the different size options. So I am going to find this one, and let's go overhead, and I will mark this with a pen so that you can really see it. We're going from the outer edge and the outer edge. That's most important. We're not measuring from the seam allowance. No, outer edge of fabric, outer edge of fabric. These templates do have, why isn't my pen working? They do have really pen. They do have teardrops in case you'd like to use a 28mm rotary cutter. But I want you to see what I'm doing here. Okay, there's those. Let's cut them real quick. Here's this one. Now we'll do the exterior. Do the lining first, because if you mess it up at all, nobody will see inside most likely, but they will notice the exterior if you have these lopsided. All right, there's that. There's that. Okay, let's do the lining. We're gonna kind of pull those pieces apart and match your seams. And I don't know if Ramel can zoom in, but we're gonna nest the seams. So the seam, one is going one way, one goes the other way. And when you pin it, catch those seams so they stay like that while you're sewing. It will make it sit flatter and it'll be easier to sew. If they pull apart, just take it back to the machine and re-sew a little bit on the side and bottom. It's okay. Never panic in sewing. Oh, look, mine just, oh yeah, that's really pulling apart. So I'm just gonna show you quick. Let's go to the machine. This is the Easy Fix back stitch. And then I'm gonna back stitch down here. I'll do the same over here because I know it'll happen. And this one. Okay, now back over. Here you just want to make sure that you've got the exteriors, you know, both exteriors are not on one side. You've got exterior, exterior. Match that seam line and then nest the seams. You can use clips. You don't have to use a pin. Now let's do the same over here. Making sure exterior is to exterior. Match the seam and then nest. Okay, now let's sew right over. Here we go to the machine. We're almost finished. Do back stitch here. Now that it's on my machine, I can pull that pin out. There it is. If you wanted to sew another seam, you can. I usually only do that on big bags that I expect will be loaded down. There's only so much you can fit in a zipper pouch. And now this side. right, now we've got that opening in the bottom. We had opened the zipper already, so we're just going to turn it. Right sides out, push all of our corners out, push our zipper tabs out, press it, close the opening, and we're finished. So right here, my fingers are inside and I'm pushing the corners out. Same thing here, you gotta come in here and you gotta push the corners out. This is super important. If you're sleeping, wake up. You have to come in here and push the zipper tab out with your finger. See how this one wants to look? That's not right. All we have to do is coax it. So I have my finger in here and look, I just pushed it out. You see that? Pushed it out with my finger or your thumb. Same thing for down here. We have to push our corners out. And same over here, push the corners out. Okay, let's close this opening and just turning it under. And I'm gonna iron it, press it. And here I go, closing that up. You can also ladder stitch this, whip stitch it if you want, I don't care. It's up to you. But I know that most people are not inspecting the bottom of my zipper pouch that I'm giving them, so I just machine close it. And then come in and really push it down in there and make it fit into those side corners. There. And there we are. There's your inside. Really good, really good. You can do so much with scraps. So have fun and play around and let me know if this helped you at all or if there's anything else I should clarify. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and hitting that thumbs up. It does matter. So I really appreciate any subscribing. Thanks so much. Peace up sewing.